Layers are the foundation of editing images in Photoshop. Now, if you want to improve your Photoshop skills, then take the time to learn the ins and outs of layers. They're important, and in this series of videos, we're going to take a look at how you can take advantage of layers in your day-to-day editing workflow. Now, you'll find the Layers panel located on the right-hand side of your screen, down the bottom here. Now, if for some reason you can't see the Layers panel, go to the main navigational menu up in the top left-hand corner, click on Window, and then scroll down to Layers. Now, you can either click on Layers or press F7 on your keyboard. The first thing you'll notice is that every image or document that you open up in Photoshop automatically has its own background layer, which is a foundation of your entire image. Now, to understand how layers work, let's take a look at this example. So if I was to quickly grab the paintbrush tool, we could actually paint on this particular image, as you can see here. And what you'll notice is it's actually painted on the background layer. But if I was to undo that and press Command Z or Control Z on a PC, and then we actually created a new layer by clicking on the new layer icon, we could actually use the paintbrush tool again and actually draw on the new layer. And as you can see, it's actually separate to the image, which is one of the huge benefits of actually using layers. Now I'm just going to undo this, and we would actually grab the erase tool and let's erase some of this layer. You'll notice that it actually goes white. Now this means that the layer is not transparent, which is not exactly what we want when it comes to creating multiple different layers. Now, the thing to take note of is if we were actually to double click on this particular layer, which at the moment is locked, as you can see by the locked icon, and it has background written in italics. Now, italics simply represents Photoshop's way of telling us that this layer has no transparency. So if we were to double click on that, and don't worry about these settings, but we just click OK, now it's actually changed the layer, and it's changed it to a layer that can have transparency. So if we're actually to use the erase tool again and erase some of the image, you'll notice that you have this checkerboard pattern, and that's Photoshop's way of actually indicating transparency. So now this layer is transparent, and you can actually have things that sit underneath that area that is transparent that actually will show up. So in this example, I'm just going to jump back to an older version of this particular image that has multiple layers, just to show you how layers can be set up and how to actually utilize them, to give you a general overview in this first video. So if we go to the history panel just up the top here, I'm just going to jump back to this history state, and you'll notice now in the layers panel I have multiple layers that actually come together to make up this particular composite or this particular image. So the first thing you'll notice is that every layer has this little eye icon. Now the eye icon simply is Photoshop's way of allowing you to turn on and off the visibility of a layer. So in this example, if I turn off the moon layer, you'll notice the moon in the top right hand corner disappears, but if I turn it on again, it will appear. Now the ordering of layers is actually very important because it actually distinguishes which layers will actually sit on top of other ones and which ones will be visible and which ones will actually not be visible according to their ordering. Now that is, of course, not including transparent images, and in this particular case the moon is actually transparent. Now layers themselves can be easily moved around, so if I actually grab the move tool up in the top of the toolbar menu, click on it or press V on your keyboard, we can then actually select this layer which is already selected, and we can actually grab the moon and move it to the left hand side of this particular image. Now to make it a bit more obvious, I'm just going to remove some of the settings that I actually have for this layer. So I'm going to increase the opacity to 100%, I'm going to change the blending mode back to normal, and I'm also just going to disable this particular layer mask. We'll talk about those features in the coming videos. But as you can see now, we have a moon layer that is not transparent and it's quite obvious. So as you can see here, it's actually sitting on top of every other aspect of this image, and I can move it around without affecting any other layer. I can even go to edit and go to free transform and actually increase the size of this layer without affecting any other layer as well. So from that perspective, layers is extremely useful for editing individual aspects of an image without affecting other areas, and you can actually make them very selective by using layer masks and a range of other different options. If you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, please share it with your friends. If you want to get even more awesome resources to kick ass with Photoshop, plus you want to get the stuff that I just can't put inside my videos, come on over to thephotographychallenge.com and sign up for email updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.